what's the approach heading into that?
Well, number one, you're always going to use it to a little mental refresh, a little bit of a break, no matter when it comes. You're always going to use it some in recruiting. You use it for sure some with young guy development because they're doing your scout. Oh, that's not the total concentration, but you've got some time to do some things. We're on a weekly deal. Like our coaches will get out Thursday and Friday. We'll have a Thursday practice, but a lot of guys will be out, so you get to a lot of games. We've been to some, but it's even a more recruiting effort and deal. We didn't practice Sunday night, give them a little bit of a break coming off the game physically, so you can kind of be smart with some of the guys and with your nick-up guys. Every day's a practice deal. You don't wait till next year if you're a down-the-line or redshirt guy, so there's always that. To me, the timing of this deal is, we have a non-conference deal 4, and then we break, and then we even have another one coming, and not that we're putting everything in these 3 games, but your concentration with internally, what are we good at? What are we not good at? What can we do to help this guy? What can we do to play other players? Whatever. Just you can really evaluate yourself. What are your self-scout tendencies? In this formation, are we too much run-oriented, pass-oriented? If we're doing this blitz, is it really working or not? How do we make it better? Do we do it? If this coverage, where are we getting worked at or not? How do we make it better? So you can really self-scout yourself. And one, you start on yourself. Then you start building to your next opponent. You don't put everything just getting ready for the next opponent, Penn State, or just then the Michigan State. But your concentrated effort of the opponents of those 3, because then you get to do this week again. And so it's seldom do you get 2 weeks, but to me it kind of segments our schedule with the non-conference, a 3-game run. We'll get to do some recruiting, we'll get to do some development, we'll get some self-eval, but we can segment the season and really concentrate our efforts. Then in quote, when it comes time to do some game plan, but you're not going to plan 2 weeks just for this one opponent. You'll maybe do a little bit. You might even look at some of the other opponents to some degree.
How does the non-conference schedule kind of prep you for that Big Ten?
Well, we've played now. Navy's a little bit different from the offensive side, but I do think we've played some teams that have been pretty good. Defensively, we need to play better. I think we've also played. If you look at total, I just looked yesterday. I know we played 3 FBS schools, and I think total offense they're 7, 10, and 19. And there's a lot of guys moving the ball well, but we've got to make some strides there for sure. But I do think we are. But you love to be 4-0, and we haven't played well, and know what we need to win 2 games. But we have played good opponents. So now again, you're going to go, and not that we're going to play teams that we've played the best teams we've played. We are going to play teams like we just played and other good teams. But at least we've been in that arena. We've got now a week to address it, not be in a panic, to really just get onto this next game. But also say, look, here's where we had some issues that we got to try to fix in short term the best way we can. Because even though we're talking daily development, program development, if you're Ted Bolzer, Kofi Hughes, Stephen Houston, Greg Heben, Mitch Ewald, let's go. It's 10 weeks of ball, championship game and a bowl game. Those are your opportunities. So it's nice to talk daily and what you want to do in years to come. But my year is 2 open dates and 8 games, and let's see what that gets us at the end.
When you talk about reassessing yourself and what are we good at, what are we not good at, what are some of the answers you guys have come up with since you've been considering that this week?
Well, again, we've got to play better run defense, and we've got to run the ball better, which was the whole gist again of preseason. The other day we didn't have a run attack that worked and didn't block well. And no matter what the animals are you're blocking, you still got to find it. Because if you get one-dimensional, you're going to be very easy to defend. And then same thing on the defensive side. If you allow them to be 2-dimensional, you got to stop something. And in the league we play in, even though we're a spread team and we can do our tempo and be in shotgun, you still got to have the toughness and the balance on both sides of the ball. So that's really where everything's really concentrated on right now. What can we do to get run game? What can we do to be more gap sound, structure sound, eyes where they need, to get the guys in the gaps and get off blocks and play better run defense.
Does this bye week come at a good time considering the uneven performances on both sides of the ball, do you think?
Yeah, to me it's a good time. Yeah, with that, but really, again, it kind of segments. We were talking about the 4-game run, boom, and now you got a really chance to reflect, analyze, what do you like, what do you don't like, and now let's move into these 3. And you're not moving just to the Big Ten. We're talking Big Ten, we're talking Leaders Division. But then we're really coming back from that and pairing it just to these 3, because then by this year's schedule, you get another open date to then self-eval, opponent eval, and go for that 5-game run in November.
If you evaluated the defense looking at scheme, execution, and experience, I guess what can you address most immediately?
Well, what I think is again, in my opinion, that as we've shared, and I've been with those guys again. Now, offensively, I'm gonna spend a lot more practice time on the offensive